Very good evening, Toastmasters. Happy to welcome you all for this second webinar program of PR webinar series by District 116 Public Relations Team. My name is Venkat, your District 116 PR Manager. Before we begin the webinar, I would like to acknowledge the presence of our District Director, DTM Raghavan. Welcome, District Director. I think he left. I wanted him to speak for a few seconds. That's fine. Once again, good evening, Toastmasters. I welcome each one of you for this webinar session. When it comes to public relations role in Toastmasters, be it in a club, area, division, or district, it is important for us to let the world know about our meetings and events happening in Toastmasters. In this technological era, digital marketing helps us to reach maximum people in the community. If you look at creating a poster for Toastmasters event or achievements is one of the effective ways in the public relations, which we have witnessed in the recent times. This also helps us in doing the marketing. So with this context, to bring confidence with members to create digital posters in compliance to the Toastmasters International branding guidelines and share the simple ways of creating posters, we have organized this knowledge sharing webinar session. And today's the agenda, if you look at, it's very simple. After this opening session, then we will directly get into the core topic. At the end, we will have the question and answer session. There are few ground rules. I hope before I brief the ground rules, we have a district director with us. I will unmute our district director, DTM Raghavan, to say a few words. Over to you, DTM Raghavan.
Thank you. Good evening, friends. Hope you are going to have a wonderful webinar today on posting. This is a very good trend which we are seeing nowadays, that more and more people are doing the poster making. But only concern which district has is that whether you are following the right, the guidelines of TI's branding. This is something which we'll be discussing today. And then I request all the VPPRs, use your creativity, that is wonderful, but the creativity has to be within the framework.
I think DD got disconnected. District Director.
Venkat, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right, then I'll continue. So what I request all the leaders, all the creative people from clubs, flyers, their VPPRs or their subcommittees, to listen carefully the presenter, Shehariyas, who is an expert in this matter, and he'll be explaining to you. So subsequently, whatever flyers and posters which you are creating, please ensure that you are following the guidelines explained today. Good luck and enjoy the session. Venkat, back to you.
Thank you, Didi. As you said, this is the brief agenda, and we will have all the question and answer session at the end of the session. There are a few ground rules, as I said, except For the presenter, all other attendees' mic will be kept muted condition by default to avoid disturbances. And if you have any question, please send it in the chat room. If you look at your toolbar, there is a chat box option. You can type there so that as moderator, I will just list down all the questions and we will answer all the questions at the end of the Q&A session, during the Q&A session. So before we proceeding, I would like to read the district mission. We build new clubs and support all clubs in achieving excellence. And the club mission. We provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. With this, I would like to directly get into our today's workshop, Poster Making Made Simple. This session will be conducted by a Toastmaster who is a part of District 116 Public Relation team. A Toastmaster for the last 3 years. He served as VP Public Relation during the last term in his club, and he has achieved most of the PR related awards from the district. He has achieved Best Club Website, Best Newsletter, and the Best Player of the Month for many months. And he also contributed in District CGD's communication team in the last term. Currently, he is serving as a VP Education of EF Toastmasters Club of Area 8, Division C, and District 116. And he is also part of District 116 Public Relation team, as I said. He loves traveling and photography. It's Toastmaster Shehariyas Kandy. Toastmaster Shehariyas Kandy, over to you. Toastmaster Shehariyas. You can unmute yourself.
Thank you, Toastmaster Venkat, for that lovely introduction. Good evening, Toastmasters, and a very warm welcome to District 116 PR webinar on Poster Making Made Simple. I'm very excited to host you all in this training session. So let me briefly explain what's the purpose of our today's workshop. In our first webinar in the series, Toastmaster Venkat and Sudhir have done a great job in making you understand the importance of Toastmasters branding guidelines and how you can effectively promote your club's image using various PR tools. Posters or flyers, whichever name you may want to call it, is one such great tool. All posters created for meetings or open houses have to communicate your idea and the purpose to the intended audience, at the same time adhering to the branding guidelines set out by Toastmasters International. So I'll move on to the agenda for the day. Introduction I have already covered. So I will walk you through a few good practices of poster designing. I will give a demonstration on how to create a simple and elegant poster for your meetings using Adobe Photoshop. And I will also discuss some common mistakes which we used to find in many flyers inside our district or even outside sometimes. And there will be a Q&A session and there will be conclusion also. So moving on to the good practices of poster designing. There may be many good practices, but I will mainly discuss the 5 important main points. The first one is make it easy to read. The top priority of any poster is generally to expose someone to an event. Key information should be easy to read from a distance and to draw people's attention to the poster. This is very handy when you will print the poster and stick it somewhere where you want the people to see, like in a supermarket or on your corporate notice board or somewhere. And when it comes to poster design, you can think of text as having 3 distinct layers. I will explain all these by showing an image. Look at the example on your left side. It's a good design, but it's too difficult to read because it has a lot of information, which makes it not that easy to read. But look at the example on your right side. It's simple, and the key information is visible to everyone. And even if we print it and post it somewhere, it's easier for anyone to have a look and see the key information. It's a garage sale. It's on Saturday, June 12th. It's discounted price for clothes, furniture, electronics, and blah, blah, blah. And the timing is 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. So this is information which the poster or the event organizer wants the people to see. Now, this is the headline. As I told, there will be 3 main points in the test hierarchy. The headline, this is the headline, garage sale. Now the details, when and where. On Saturday, maybe the place is not mentioned here, but there will be, sometimes they can mention the place, venue, and the timing. And sometimes they can even show some fine print details like some terms and conditions apply, or his web address or his mobile number for anyone to contact by seeing this poster. So the next point is to create contrast with colors and typography. You have one glance to grab someone's attention with a poster. High contrast between elements can help you do that. Contrast occurs when 2 elements are different. For example, it could be different colors between the text and the background color, or it could be a heading set in a big, bold font combined with a smaller font for the body text, or even it could be a difference between a large graphic or a small graphic. And our eyes like to watch anything with contrast. Look at this example. You can see the big font which says the headline of the poster, and he has used white color for the font face and some other details he had shown in the red color. He also used the background as a black, and to highlight some other information, he used a red part to highlight some of the text. The important thing about contrast is that the elements should be completely different, not just a little bit different. Now, the next point is the readability or the legibility for aesthetic appeal. The primary purpose of any design is communication. So it makes sense that the readability and the legibility of your type is a top priority. So what hinders the readability and legibility? Well, a number of things can affect how much effort your reader has to put in. Look at this example. On your left side, it's too of a low contrast between the text and the background. The green background and slightly green text doesn't suit properly. It's very difficult for any reader to read it because it doesn't have enough contrast. Another common mistake is the overuse of capital letters. Not only do capital letters make the reader feel like they are being yelled at, they also makes it difficult for eyes' ability to distinguish letter forms. Because when executed in capital letters, each letter has the same height and block-like shape. Whereas in lowercase, the letter forms are more uniquely shaped, allowing for the eye to more easily identify each letter and word. One other mistake is the type size, with the usual offender of type being too small. Consider your audience. Someone shouldn't grab their glasses to read the information in your poster. It may be perfectly for me or you, but others may not. Now, the fourth point is the empty spaces, the importance of empty space in a poster. Remember, less is more. Empty space is one of those diverse and effective tools that can add something special to your design. Well-used empty space can have many beneficial effects for your design. It can help put more focus on a specific aspect of your composition. It can let your design breathe. It can help balance out your elements, or it can add some sophistication to your design. Look at this example. a small poster for some noise cancelling headphones. The example on the left side uses a little white space, but it contains some information. It fills up a lot of space with graphics and type. But the example on the right-hand side, it uses empty space very strategically. By making the headphones the focus amongst a lot of empty space, the 100% noise cancellation text is made more visual and the product is put in focus without compromising any of the information. In this case and many others, it's important to recognize that the empty space is not empty space. It does need not to be filled with a graphic or a text or some type. It's doing its job just like every other element. And the final point which I want to discuss today is the always design for your audience. Every design has an intended audience, the people that will be viewing the design and receiving the communication. So it makes sense to keep them in mind when you design something. And we know in Toastmasters, it's all about people, meeting and having fun. Take a look at these two examples. I just did a Google search and found these two flyers from the search results I got. The example on the left doesn't quite fit the mark for a Toastmasters meeting. For a prospective guest looking at this poster, he won't really get the message of what Toastmasters is all about. But a person looking at the poster on the right side will clearly strike to him that this program is about speaking, building leadership qualities, etc. It suits the content and audience much better. Our meeting poster designs with cartoons, spotting images, etc. probably won't attract the right audience or send the right message. Remember that while your design may look good, it might not be the best possible communication for your audience. So that concludes some good practices for our poster designing. Now, this is one simple poster which I have made for our demonstration purpose here today. Now, I will take this up in the Adobe Photoshop and show you how I have done this by applying all these 5 principles. So this is a blank screen which we get when we open the Photoshop. Now click File, select New. And I always use A4 as the size for my posters. And I will also use the resolution as 300, which is ideally good for viewing and also for printing. Click OK. And the next thing I always do is setting the guides for properly aligning my text and graphics. So in Photoshop, it is very easy. I will just click View, click New Guide Layout. And I have already set it as a preset, but this is something advanced, but I will show you how to manually use the guidelines in the canvas. Click OK. Now, if any one of you doesn't see this ruler when you open up the Photoshop, click View and select Ruler. And always, when you use the Photoshop, try to learn the basic keyboard shortcuts, which will become very handy. So for this, showing the ruler, the shortcut is Control R, which will not make it invisible now. Just press the Control R, it will make it visible again. So for this purpose, I have already set a few guides. I will open up that image. So I've already set my guides. Just a second, the video is hiding some of my panels here. Okay. So this is the first page when you open up any new document in the Photoshop. I will open up that sample image I have done for the demo today. Click open. So you can see here that I have set the foreground or the background color as the yellow from the Toastmasters color palette. So I'll go back to my working document. And before that, I will unlock this document, which will help you to make any changes. Just click the lock button. It will help us to make any changes in this background document. Now, usually the default colors are black and white. Select this white button or the white color palette and enter the color palette codes. For yellow, this is 242, blue 223, sorry, green 223 and blue 116. Click OK. Now select this paint bucket tool, which denotes filling the colors in your selection or on your page. So once I click anywhere on the canvas, it will fit up with the color, the yellow color. Now once that is done, I will open up this image, which I have used for this demonstration. File open. And in Photoshop, when you open any image or any element, it will always open as a separate file. Now select this tool. This is for moving any object. Press on this image, click and drag to our working file. And I will place it on the top left part. Now, as you can see here, I have cut some part of the image to make it more elegant for the poster. So I'll just transform this, and the shortcut for this, Control T, which T is the short form for transform. Control T. It will give us a handle to enlarge or decrease, like this, increase or decrease. And I want to bring until here. So I'll leave it. I will leave the handle there. Now this is in a box shape. So to make like this, to cut this image like this, I will use this polygonal lasso tool. Select this and drag. So place the cursor outside the canvas and drag it diagonally until where I touch the image. And make another selection, drag a line across the canvas and close it off by touching that first point. Now this is a selection in Photoshop. In Photoshop, if you want to fill, delete, or make anything in a particular area, you can always use the selection tool. Now, if I press the delete button, this will clear up from that image. That selection is gone now. So I will deselect that selection. The shortcut is Control D. Now go back to the demo poster. You can see I have added up some triangles here. Now I will show you how to add that triangle. Click a new layer. It's always better to create or make any elements or make any text in a new layer. So I will go to the shape tool. This little rectangle icon is for the shape tool. Select on it. And you can see the fill color is all set as the yellow from the TI palette. Click on that color palette. And I have used the blue. Since Photoshop will always keep a track on whichever colors I have used recently, I can already see the blue here. In case if you don't know how to select the color, just go back to this yellow button, yellow color palette here, double click, it will open up that dialog box, which again, you can enter the color palette information for that blue color. I'll just cancel for it now. And I will make a square, so it will be easy for me to make an exact triangle. Now, when you drag, it's free flowing, means I can use any height or width. But when I press shift and drag, it gives a perfect square. So I have just left, and it fills up with the foreground color, which I have selected here. Now in Photoshop, if we use the shape, it will be created in a vector format. I want to use it as a pixel format. So I'll just right click. Before that, I will move and place it on the top left. Transform it back to the, okay. So I have resized it. Now to cut this into a triangle, I'll select this. Sorry. I'll make the triangle like correct square again. Drag. And before you exit from this selection, to make a triangle, we cannot directly make a triangle in Photoshop. So just go to the pen button here, which denotes a nib. Select that. If you just see the pen in the beginning, just long press that icon, select delete anchor point tool, and just press that the bottom right. You can see a point there. Just click that point, which will, this operation will turn a live shape into a regular path. Just click yes. Now this has made into a rectangle. Now I will change it to a pixel one. Rasterize layer. Just place it. Now in the demo poster, you can see I have add some spice into this image by adding a transparent layer beneath this triangle. Now to create that, I'll just duplicate this layer, select that layer and click right click and select duplicate layer. The shortcut for that is Control J. Now select the layer beneath the newly created layer and set the opacity to 60%. You have to transform into a bigger shape so I can see the transparent layer beneath the triangle. I'll just press Control T. And again, I'll press Shift and drag it. So you can see, this is how I have made the transparent layer. Now this is two different layers, but I want it as one layer. So just select that layer on the top, right click, and select merge down. Now this has made into one layer. If I click on the eye, it will just makes it invisible. So if I click back the eye, it is visible again. Now just to speed up the process, what I used to do is the commonly used elements like graphics, the Toastmasters logo, and some common text, I always save it in a Photoshop document. So it will be easy for me to just click and drag. So I've done one sample here, text and graphics. So these are the common things which I always put. Now for this demonstration purpose, I will not show you how to create this maroon one. So just click and drag to the file which you are working on. Now the best part about this practice is, now you have seen that I have dragged this maroon triangle or this geometrical shape into my file. It is still available there, so it's non-destructive. So if you want to make a new poster in the future, it's always available there. So I'll place it this maroon geometrical shapes here. Now I will add the Toastmasters logo, which is again available in this file. So I'll just click and drag to my working file here. And you might have understood in the branding guideline that it's always, we have to keep equal space on the left, top, right, or bottom. So when I have used the guides, for me, it's very easy. I just need to drag it and place it the left, and the top side of the logo will snap it to the guide. So if I just make the guides invisible, you can see there is equal space on the left and top side of the logo. This is all, we always have to keep the logo in any poster or any image, even in the newsletter. If you are creating a newsletter, always make sure the logo is placed according to the branding guidelines. I'll bring back my guides. So we have completed the placing the logo, some graphical elements. I brought the meetings at the sample image. Now we'll move on to placing the text files. The text. So in the demo post, the first text is welcome to meeting 100. So to place any text in a Photoshop document, click the T, which denotes text. Click that T and press anywhere on the document. By default, it will always select the foreground color. So just select, you click here and select the maroon color, which I have already selected. Or you can simply, just a second. Before selecting the text tool, or you place the text on your document, click this color and select the maroon color. If you don't show up on your recent swatch, just enter the color information in the RGB values. Click OK. Then place your text on your document. By default, the size is 8.52. I will increase it to 42. And type welcome to meeting 100. Now to select the text again, just double click here. I'll just delete this. It's not required. Select the welcome to meeting 100. This will highlight the selection. And by default, the font which selected is Myriad Pro. But I want this to be in the Gotham font, which is the recommended font for any headline in Toastmasters branding guidelines. So just type Gotham. But I want only the meeting 100 as the biggest text. So I will just select the welcome to and bring it down to 22. Go to select window character. This will open up this special panel for all the controls on your text. And this is the space between the text. So I will just select this photo and change it to 48. Keep it 42 as the text size. Then place it on the left side, on this guideline. Now you can see I have added a few other texts, like want to inspire some basic information about our meeting and how it is going to help the prospective member if they join our club. So I'll just select all these information from my bank file. Again, click and drag to my working file. Now to give some information about attend our Toastmasters Club too, have used a white background or a white box as a background to give more contrast to the text. So I'll just create a new layer in my working file. Use the selection tool, which is for creating any rectangle or square. If you just press the shift and drag, it will always create a square. But if I leave the shift, I can make a rectangle. So I'll just bring it down to under the let us help you text. And I will click here. This will always take it to the default colors, which is black and white. And if I click here, this will swap the foreground and background. So I want the white. Now the white is the foreground color. And I will go to click edit, fill, select the foreground color, click OK. This will fill up with the white color. Now to unselect the selection, just press Ctrl D. And I will again bring the text like attend our Toastmasters to my working file. Click and drag and drop it here. Align it inside the white box. And again, bring this text, learn these skills and all to the file here. And one tip, if you accidentally move this background layer, go back to your background layer and click this log. So this will log that position. And if I click and drag now, this doesn't move. So that is one small tip which I can give. Now I have placed the learn these skills and all. Now I will move on to the next graphical element, which is showing the time, date, location icon. So I'll just click and drag this. To my working file here. Place it to the alignment. Bring again the text. Place it aligning to the text, aligning to the icons. Bring some other information, fine print information, and place it aligning to the time, date, and stuff. I'll bring the club information. For this purpose, I have used District 116 Toastmasters Club. Click and drag and bring it to my working file. And finally, as you can see in the demo poster, I have used our upcoming DTAC 2020, the RISE 2020. I will bring that logo also to my file here. I have completed creating the poster as it is here now. So you can see the highlight for this poster is on the meeting 100. Then I have given some other information on what are the benefits of joining a Toastmasters club. Then some information when and where we are going to meet. and which is the club, and how you can reach us, like RSVP, and the club social media channels or the website. And finally, I have added this the RISE 2020 logo also. So now I have completed creating the poster. So to share it digitally, mostly we use it for the JPEG version. So to do that, click File, Save As. If you want to keep the, select Save As type as JPEG. It gives a myriad of options, but for our purpose, we will use the JPEG. I'll click a demo and click Save. Now this will open up another window which shows the quality information. So for if you want to keep the best quality, always choose the highest number, which is 12. Which will be also beneficial if you want to print the poster. But if you want to share it as a digital file, just keep it at 10 or 11. Click OK. Now that file has been saved. So the demonstration on how to create a poster has been done in the Photoshop. I will move on to my presentation. I will resume with my presentation. Now I have used the Adobe Photoshop, which is a paid software actually. But there are equally powerful free softwares available for creating any posters. And the tools which I have used is not that advanced or anything. These are all basic tools which you can easily apply in any graphical softwares. So GIMP is one very powerful software. It's a standalone program. And the other option which I can recommend is a Pixel editor, which is completely web-based. You don't have to install anything on your system. It's not that powerful, but very much effectively, you can use to create simple posters. Now we will look into some of the common mistakes which we used to find in the meeting posters. Look at this example. It's a very good poster. It gives all the information. But you can see alongside the meeting, the Toastmasters International logo, they have, I believe this is the company logo or for the club. So as per the branding guidelines, you're not supposed to keep other than any logo other than from the Toastmasters International. The second example, they didn't use the logo, but if you want to convey the message of a Toastmasters meeting, it has to adhere to the color, the Toastmasters International color palette. They have used very flashy colors, plus the layout of the text is not that very good. This poster is almost a very good one, but unfortunately they have readability issues, and they have used a white outline in the logo, which is also not recommended or allowed by the branding guidelines. And here you can see some fonts. I don't think this is a font which is recommended or approved by the Toastmasters branding guidelines. This poster also has the readability issues. They have used fonts outside the Toastmasters International branding. And mostly we see that now we always focus on the theme of the meeting, which is sometimes not that good. And here also the poster creator, his focus was more on the theme of the meeting rather than conveying the message of a Toastmasters meeting. Now look at this example. It's breaking all the Toastmasters International branding guidelines in terms of color, image, fonts. So I believe the poster designer wants to create a very creative flyer, but unfortunately it has broken all the rules of Toastmasters International branding guidelines. So with this, I conclude my presentation. I will give back the control to the district 116 PR manager. So Venkat, you have the host, you have the control back now.
Yes. Thank you, Toastmaster Shehariyas. That was a wonderful session. I hope now all the attendees will understand how difficult it is to create a poster, isn't it? At the same time, it is very easy to create a flyer or a poster once you are practicing and start practicing, and you will make mistakes. But at the same time, over a period of time, you will be expert in that. That's how I personally learned the creating the flyers. Thank you so much once again, Toastmaster Shehariyas. Now, I will open the floor for questions. If anyone of you having a question, please raise your hand or just put your question over the chat box. Yeah, uh, we have a question from Toastmaster Munir. Any guide to refer to practice? Shehariyas, can you please answer?
Can you please repeat that question, Venkat?
Is there any guide to refer to practice?
Yes, we can provide a lot of guides, but what I have learned from my experience, personally speaking, YouTube is the best source for learning any application, be it Photoshop, be it any designing softwares from Adobe or from any other brands like Microsoft or any software. So to start with, I think it's easy that you create some basic images by selecting the basic tools which I have shown, like filling the paint, filling with the selection with the paint and all. Once you are comfortable with working with Adobe Photoshop, then you can start to, like I have shown how to set the transparency and all. So go on to practice such things. Then once you have a very comfortable level of working with Adobe Photoshop, you move on to advanced topics like setting the, I mean, like working with images, collages and all. I could have shown a few examples how powerful the software is, but since our purpose is to show a very simple one, I didn't bring any samples from my, this is from my collection personally, which I have created.
Yeah, that's a good answer, Shehariyas. Basically, YouTube, as you said, YouTube is the right channel. You can learn a lot of things.
Yeah.
And we have another question from
And
iPhone.
just sorry to interrupt, Venkat.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
for this pixel art editor, I can provide you one tutorial PDF. So this will help how to easily start working with the pixel art editor.
Pixel art. Yeah.
Pixel art editor, which is freely available software, and you can work in a web browser also. Maybe we can share after the presentation, the webinar is over.
Sure. We'll do that. And we have another question from Toastmaster. What other software is available for making posters? I don't have a Photoshop. As Shehariyas said, it's whatever the tools we have used here, it is available in the free applications like gimp.org or pixelor.com. These are the free websites available. You can directly visit and you can create your own login there if you want. Otherwise, also you can make your own the posters directly there. I hope that answer clarifies your question. iPhone 6s. Do we have any other question? You can raise your hand or you can just write your questions over the chat box. Thank you, Toastmaster Sethupathi, for your appreciation. Any questions? Okay, if there are no questions, once again, Munir has asked some question. Mobile app. It's very difficult to create a poster in mobile, Munir. You need to use the desktop or laptop so that you are comfortable with that. It's very difficult to create a. For a small things, it's okay. For because when we make Toastmaster posters, you need to comply to the Toastmaster branding guidelines. You need to keep some space between the lines. So better, I suggest to use the desktop or laptop. You can create flyers through mobile app. There's no doubt we can do that, but it would be difficult. And there's a question from how Toastmaster Sethupathi, how to print it. Basically, once you're done with your flyer, you can save that flyer as a JPEG in a JPEG format. Once you print it, save it as a JPEG document, then automatically you can send it as a attachment to your email. You can share with the WhatsApp. You can share it in the Facebook, and you can print it also.
Yeah. Can I add one more point onto that question?
Yes.
Okay, Sethupathi, if you want to print, I think the best format is TIFF. If you save in JPEG, this will take some of the quality from the file. So there'll be some lostness in the quality of the file. So if you want to print it, save it as a TIFF, TIFF format, which will maintain the highest quality of all the colors and all the graphics which we have used in the file. And even the printer companies would love to receive in TIFF.
That's good. Yeah. Our Kumaran is also responding. TIFF format is the best one.
Yeah.
Thank you,
For
Kumaran.
printing, this is the best.
What is the current process of drag the picture? A question from Toastmaster Shafi. Shehariyas, could you please?
Can you please elaborate on that question, Shafiq?
Shafiq, I will unmute you. You can even speak now. Toastmaster Shafi.
Yes. Hello. Good evening.
Good evening. Could you please
Good
elaborate?
evening.
Yes. Like we create the posture, and that sometimes it's happen like we are just drag the picture. When we drag the picture, the quality is decreased. No, it is not look like which is original form of the picture. So let me know about what is the process to dragging the picture. So we put in the posture of flyer, which will be looking good. No.
Okay. Toastmaster Shafi, if I understand correctly, you are talking about scaling of an image, not a dragging. Am I right?
All right. Yes.
Yeah. For example, Toastmasters logo. When you download from the website, right? It will be, you can save it as a JPEG format or a PNG format. You just copy that image, paste it into your PowerPoint or your agenda or in the Photoshop. When you are dragging, I always suggest press Shift and click the image so that the image will be in the same scale. It is not, the scale will not disturb.
Okay.
Use shift and drag the image so that for the equal proportion. That's what even Kumaran is also saying. Thank you, Kumaran.
Shafiq, can I get more details on that question, please?
Yes, for example, like for example, the host is saying that.
You're asking about an image download from the internet, yeah?
Yes, same.
Okay, I think there is one more big problem for that. Always look at what is the quality of this image which you have downloaded. For example, if the file size is like 50 KB or less than 100 KB, if you drag it to Photoshop, I don't think you will get the best quality, even if you scale it up. So the best resolution is something about 2000 pixels. So apparently the file size would be 1 MB, 1.5 MB like that. So this will give an ideal resolution for your image to work with the file poster.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
And one more question, like if you don't mind.
Yes, yes.
So, what is the recommended fonts of the Toastmaster for the posters? Fonts.
Yeah. There are total 4 fonts approved by Toastmasters International. Gotham is one font. Lubalin is another font. Myriad Pro is another font. If these 3 fonts, if you are not able to use, you can directly use Arial font, which is available in all the applications.
And each font
If you
has
look
its own
at,
purpose.
yeah, correct.
Because the Gotham is used for the headlines and sub-headlines. The Myriad Pro for the body text and all. And ITC Lubelin for...
Can you look at the screen?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
These are
Yeah,
the
here it is clearly mentioned.
This is the Toastmaster International branding guidelines. The fonts approved by, we can use in the Toastmasters material. Gotham, ITC Lubalin, Myriad Pro, and Arial. How you can use these fonts, you can have details are given in the manual, which was covered in the earlier webinar. You can approach us anytime. We are there to help you.
You can see the usage part here, where
Yeah.
it can be applied.
Thank you.
Okay. Do you have any other question?
No, it's okay, fine. Thank you.
Thank you. Overall, it was highly informative, Toastmaster Shehariyas. I'm sure it will be really helpful for all the attendees in creating
Thank you,
digital
Venkat.
posters for their clubs or areas or division. Even I picked up a lot of information. It is really useful. Basically, I use a PowerPoint for making all these flyers. Almost every week, at least 15, 20 flyers I'm making for districts. Everything I'm using only the PowerPoint. And this particular digital poster making skill, I strongly believe it is not only helpful for your Toastmaster role, it helps you in your personal life also. You can create a beautiful flyer for your friends and family members to impress them, isn't it?
Yeah,
Thank you,
for our
Shehariyas,
kids.
once again. Thank you so much, Shehariyas, once again.
My
I
pleasure.
thank all the attendees of this webinar for taking your time and participating. Thank you so much. Thanks to the district leaders, our district director DTM Raghavan for attending this session, and all the area directors, division directors for supporting and encouraging the members to participate in this program. Our next session in the public relations webinar series is on 24th October. That is coming Thursday, 6:30 p.m. Topic is creating your club website with FTH. That is free Toast host. This session will be conducted by our own Toastmaster Kumaran, who was of immediate past district PR manager. I encourage each one of you to attend this knowledge sharing session, even the next the webinar also, and share the webinar details to your club members and encourage them to participate. With this, I would like to thank each one of you once again. These are our website details, our Facebook page and Instagram pages. I request each one of you to visit and be a member of that for all the updates we are updating regularly. With this, I would like to adjourn this webinar session. Until we meet in the next webinar on 24th October, it's me, Venkat, District PR Manager, signing off. Thank you so much. We will be sharing this presentation and the recording of this webinar session to each one of you. Thank you so much. I can run through a poll also if all of you are there. A small feedback question, if you can just answer, that would be great for us. And there are few Toastmasters attending from other district also. I would like to thank them. Thank you so much. Our District 114 PR Manager, Nijeri, is also attending this session. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Nijeri. You want to say something? Thank you so much. It's exactly 7:30. Thank you so much. Signing off from this webinar session. It's Venkat, Logistic PR Manager. Thank you.